Hi. Okay, so this time I'm going to talk about the moon in Gemini. And just quickly, and this is really what I love to do just to help people who are trying to get a little more familiar, with some key things here. And just real quickly about the moon is how we feel about things and situations. It's how we respond intuitively before our brain has a chance to sort things out. So it's really about how we emotionally respond and react. Okay, and the sign that it's in gives it that tint, that flavor, if you will. And so it's kind of like a filter. Okay, so having a Gemini moon. That being said about the moon ruling our emotions, Gemini is such an airy sign, and it's all about communication, and it's so mercurial. It's ruled by Mercury. And so it's a little bit more of I want to say, intellectual sort of emotional way of feeling, if that makes sense. Okay, so Gemini moon is that the person is more sociable, engaging, communicative, chatty, friendly, happy-go-lucky sort of, depending on other placements in the chart, of course, genuinely interested in talking. And so that it is more of this socializing and communicating is a way of how they keep themselves grounded. So that ties in emotionally and how they keep themselves going. So it's not that they're actually reaching out emotionally, although that they do and they can. It's more of this is just how they are and how they process the world, relationships, how they process information emotionally is more intellectually. And I know that sounds a little confusing. Okay, they like to quote, get it out, verbalize. This would be the friend that is always texting you, is making new friends really easy, the literal social butterfly. The only downside to this is that, you could have a friend who has a moon in Gemini and you might feel a little left out because just like the butterfly that goes, sampling all of the different flowers, making all of the new friends, chatting up the whole neighborhood. Do you see how that pattern is more about quantity versus sticking with one thing? So you might feel a little bit left out with the person who is your friend or lover or whoever they are. You might feel left out because they're on to the next thing, because they're here now and then they're gone. Their mind is off to the races. They're off to meet and chat up the new friend because they love new situations. They are so interested in interesting people and in talking about interest and having interesting conversations. But do you see how that could be a lot of turning over stones but not like finishing the whole story, or not giving their all to the person they're talking to before they're moving on to the next thing. And the same thing goes with how they are in their personal life. And it could be that's, them being such a strong student in life that they have a trouble finishing things all the way through to completion because they really love to get it started and they're so interested and their attention is taken so quickly. Okay. Also, they love to express themselves through communicating, through writing, through journaling. They love the old-fashioned word games. These people can be really, really fickle, and they can be hard to satisfy. Let's see what else here. They can be kind of flaky, as I mentioned before, and that can be kind of a disappointment. Also, with Moon in Gemini, sometimes you might have issues if you are the Moon in Gemini, or if you know somebody who is the Moon in Gemini, with how they could disregard boundaries by inquiring, being, quote, nosy, and then not giving it all the attention when they find out something deep about you and treating it kind of in a shallow way. And Moon in Gemini, it's really hard to have a permanent commitment with the moon in Gemini, you know, and it depends also about the other placements, because they love their freedom and they love to be liberated, and they totally don't put up with people who want commitment super fast, or especially they don't want any of that clingy, possessive, jealous stuff. No. Okay, so they love their freedom. So, you know, if you found one that likes to commit, it's definitely still, it comes with allowing them to be themselves, allowing them to have their friends and their many vast interests. Okay, so also their how they are is very mercurial, as I said, and that can also be high strung, nervous, anxious, may need to slow it down, may need to you know, and would benefit from meditating, swimming, anything that's going to calm the mind and the body. If you're a moon in Gemini, or if you know somebody like that, they might seem all over the place because their nervous system is like that, just like with their ideas and their emotions, and they're just like, ah. All right, so what are we talking about? The chronic life sampler, and you know, they're just really they're awesome at knowing a lot of things, and just such an interesting person to be around. Yeah, so that's just a little bit about moon in Gemini. It seemed like it flew by fast, because I think even my mind was going like this, trying to grasp topics and move how much, and try to talk about how much Gemini gets themselves involved with the moon in Gemini. All right, so stay tuned. I'll have more in my moon series. And also, if you want to get an intuitive reading, tarot reading from me, you can do that at deepseamercury.com. All right, thanks so much. I hope you're doing well. Bye-bye.